Sheep farming has been a prominent part of Iceland's economy and history since the times of settlement. It has now been recognised that sheep grazing has contributed to some very pressing environmental issues, including erosion and loss of biodiversity. Some causes of loss of biodiversity and erosion include a long history of sheep grazing in Iceland, concentration density, sheep diet, and grazing locations. There are a variety of environmental management mechanisms in place to improve the quality of land affected by erosion and loss of biodiversity, and to prevent further damage to already existing grazing areas. The most effective of these methods is Act 1166/2017 on quality controlled sheep production. This command and control method enforces strict regulations on sheep farmers with very serious consequences if not followed. The effectiveness of this act is supported by the regulation related to education of sheep farmers. Compulsory education is contributing to farmers' compassion for rehabilitating the land and understanding of the detrimental effects of overgrazing. Farmers Heal the Land has become the most effective volunteer land rehabilitation and sustainable sheep farming program in Iceland. Although the program is evidently successful, current behaviours could potentially be positively altered by focusing on Iceland's strong sense of cultural heritage and compassion for the land. So I'm addressing you, Kristján Þór Júlsson, Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture in Iceland, to explain how Act 1166/2017 on quality controlled sheep production could be altered to assist in making sheep farming a sustainable practice and to preserve the land for future generations. There are 3 environmental management mechanisms in which are currently working together to make sheep farming in Iceland a more sustainable practice. These are command and control, education, and volunteerism. The environmental management mechanism of command and control is Act 1166/2017. This act is very focused on avoiding areas already affected by overgrazing through the use of environmental assessments and improvement plans. In addition to this, farmers are required to report on and meet the conditions outlined by the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture to ensure that their practices are sustainable and are not having detrimental effects on the land. Education plays an extremely important role in managing overgrazing and its environmental effects. Better Farms is a cooperative program in which assists farmers in creating property plans with a focus on sustainable land use and improvements. This program is a part of the Quality Controlled Sheep Production Act, and participation in this program is a requirement of sheep farmers. As this program is compulsory, it ensures the transfer of important information to farmers and expands their understanding of what sustainable farming is and how to achieve it. Lastly, there's volunteerism. Farmers Heal the Land is an Icelandic volunteer program with goals of rehabilitating land degraded by sheep farming and to make sheep farming a more sustainable practice. With the understanding that active involvement and education of stakeholders is one of the most important aspects of sustainability, rehabilitation, and land care, the program was launched in 1990 and overseen by the Soil Conservation Service of Iceland. The primary activity conducted by the farmers is the sowing of appropriate seeds and the use of fertilizer to enhance vegetation in areas affected by erosion and loss of biodiversity. I believe that the Better Farms compulsory education program could be improved. Firstly, farmers would benefit from the implementation of an assessed online workshop. In addition to this, instead of a once-off seminar, a compulsory yearly seminar containing new data, images, sustainability awards, guest speakers, and brand new information could assist in ensuring farmers are continually educated on the importance of sustainable practices. So, Kristján Þór Júlsson, Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture, why should you listen to this recommendation? Because even with all the positive work you have done in moving towards making sheep farming a sustainable practice, there is still a gap in people's attitudes and their actions. A study conducted in 2017 titled Success and Failures in Rangeland Restoration investigated the effectiveness of Farmers Heal the Land, as well as its effectiveness on participants' attitude and behaviour. The investigation highlighted a contradiction between farmers' behaviour and their attitudes. The study involved a survey of participants of Farmers Heal the Land and farmers not involved in the program. The conclusion of the study revealed that both parties that were surveyed agreed that they understood the negative effects of overgrazing on the land. This was contradicted with the support for traditional grazing practices in common areas, including highland areas, where 55% of the area is classed as unsuitable for grazing. The gap between farmers' attitude and behaviour is burdening the improvement of eroded land and the future of sustainable sheep farming. However, it is very clear that farmers do have compassion towards the land, but they value tradition. This is also supported by the farmers' strong sense of cultural and moral respect for Iceland. Education and focus on aspects of preserving cultural heritage and environment may be the key element that can be utilised to further advance achievements in sustainable land management practices.